Welcome back to G-Tech Motorworks. The day has finally come. We are going to attempt to repair our BMW M240i. What are we going to do, Joe?
I'm going to try and learn when I know absolutely nothing about mechanics.
So here it is, finally after so long, our 240i is at home and ready to start work. It's bent, it's scraped, the wheels are buckled, but we really want to see if we can do this. Can we take this crash damaged 240i and turn it into something which will be able to rival against the BMW M2? Now at the end of this series we will be taking this car on track against the M2 and a few other cars, so it is vital that we make the best job of this car we can do and see if it is possible.
What's that for? Mate, we're in the UK, it's gonna rain. I ain't got no room to do it, so we're gonna have to build a tent for the M240. Let's do it.
So the workspace is ready.
Yes, so finally, as you can see, we've got the gazebo slash tent up. Me and Joe are very excited. So a bit about the M240i. We have been talking about going into it. A few months ago, me and Joe went to a local salvage yard. There were a couple of these there. There was a 135i and a 140i. The reason we went for this was because of this. The legendary B58 engine, which is also in the new Toyota Supras. I'm very fond of these engines. You'll hear me badger on about these on the rest of the videos as well. Very powerful engine. However, we have a problem with the bodywork, which is this.
Big problem.
Big problem. Now it looks like it's gone down a wall or something, so the damage is pretty, it looks bad, but on our initial inspection we couldn't see anything inside here that was damaged. On like the suspension, you know, the chassis leg.
We are a little bit worried about the strut though, aren't we?
I am a little bit worried about the strut because it looks like something's just caught it when it's gone into the impact. It looks like it's gone into like a fence or something, or a bit of a wall. There's a bit of wood here. Yeah. So yeah, essentially what we're going to do now, guys, is we're just going to crack on with it. We've been waiting for months. It's time to strip the M240. Let's go. Now, the suspension legs on these guys, the tops, the turrets, if you want to call it, they have these two nipples here. Nipples. When the collision is bad, sometimes these can protrude out and actually damage this piece here. Looking on this hasn't really moved, so I'm hoping it's literally some kind of suspension component which has either gave way or snapped.
It's just ripped it straight out.
It's just ripped it straight out. So what we're going to go ahead and do is literally strip it, because to find out the extent of the damage, we got to strip. We ain't got x-ray vision. We've got to strip it. We need to see what actual, you know, structural damage there is. It is a Cat S, but there's many factors to Cat S when they're valuing these cars. Obviously they've looked at this and gone, it's but it isn't. We're going to bring it back. It's done 29,000 miles. It's a mint car, apart from the damage, and we're going to bring it back. So we're going to start with this side, the wing, driver's side front. The reason we're going to do that is because, as you can see, this is taken most of the impact. Now my only concern, Joe, is has it damaged anything on the inside? I just want to make sure there's no damage behind the actual strut or anything like that. So that's my reason for stripping this wing first. So let's get on with it.
So we're going to start to remove this rubber piece that sits on top of the wing. We can get some access then to the wing and the bolts that are underneath it. Once the bolts for the wing are actually removed, this should give us much better indication of how bad this car is going to be to fix. We will be able to see the structural components in not only the suspension, but whether the chassis has taken any real damage in the impact.
So we've managed to undo the wing from the top, and I just want to peek inside and have a look, make sure none of the actual structural components are damaged, because they weren't when we first went to see them. Doesn't look damaged from the top, but I want to see inside. So let's peel it back and have a look. Right, so on inspection here you can see it's smashed the washer bottle. There's a crack in there. Oh, it split it right on the seam, Joe, look. So that's going to need a new washer bottle with a pipe. Not a major problem. It's bent that bracket slightly. It's also bent the bracket here for the back of the headlight, which, to be fair, you probably can straighten out, so we'll have a look at that. Anything we can repair, guys, we are just going to try and repair it ourselves without replacing stuff, because we want to keep the cost down as well. Next thing to do is going to be go underneath, remove this arch liner, and have a look on the inside, basically the back of this, just to make sure there's nothing that's pierced it or anything.
Orange.
This is a cooler, and that is coolant.
Oh dear.
It's leaking, so that's definitely going to have to be replaced. There seems like a pipe snapped straight off there,
That is.
and there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, that's
So that,
clean off the top of that
so
cooler.
this pipe is okay, but the cooler on impact has gone. There we go. Now, come off. Okay, so more exposure down here. Now, the really good thing about this, guys, or the positive thing, is that the positive cable is not damaged. So this is the positive cable which runs all the way to the back. In the event of a serious accident, this sends a charge down to the isolator and it pops off. That's just so the car don't set on fire. Now, it looks pretty straight here, guys. There's no massive, there's no damage at all to the inner side. Right, there are two bolts from the bottom here as well, which look. There we go. There is the wing. The washer bottle has been exposed. So the wing is off. I have found a few more damages. So this bracket here has slightly moved away. It should be flush, and it's not. Gonna have to replace that, mate. And that's the washer. Look inside here, we can see control arm snapped clean off. Now I don't know what speed this guy was going, but he's definitely caught something, and this has just smashed the control arm straight off. So that's why when we were turning the steering, this wheel was just doing nothing. Spring doesn't look broken, so like I said, that's took most of the impact. The wiring looks intact. Obviously the housing here has just popped off, which we can just click back in. Oh, that front arm bushing there, if you can see, look, is completely broken. That's going to need replacing.
What do you think of the actual strut? Because we were worried about this strut top housing, so what do you think? Is it, is it off?
Yeah, I think, and I mean we'll know more if I have a look in here. I think the wheel has actually took an impact, pulled this like that, and snapped that, or snapped it that way.
Right.
That's took most of the impact. The strut looks okay, to be fair. I mean, Don't be surprised, Joe, when we build this back up. This might need a wheel bearing anyway because of the impact. I don't think this will run true, but we can check that once it's built back up. The spring is not broken, the strut is not leaking. This looks alright. So at the moment it's 2 arms on this side, which is not really that bad. I mean, that's mechanical, we can easily do that, no problem. So the wiring looks okay. Like I said here, this little radiator cooler here, this is broken and
but that's
bent.
probably something we'll look at when we do the front end.
We'll look at that. We won't have time for that today. We'll look at that when we take the front end off, and we'll be able to get more exposure. The wiring and everything else looks okay here, not broken. So yeah, there we are. So we're onto the driver's side door now. In the collision, I think the cable has snapped off inside, because even with the key and from inside, this door won't open. Now, I know you're looking at me funny like that, Joe, but you know what I'm about to do here, innit? There's no other way.
That
I've got visions.
his worry.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Thought, right? So, this hinge is bolted into the door. Now, with the collision, you can see the door's like pushed in and gone up. That's why you've got this gap here, look. Now I'm just thinking, maybe on the catch it's like pressed in. Or the worst case scenario is the cable snapped whilst this has happened, because look, it looks like this part of the handle is attached to the cable. But what I'm thinking is if we undo these from here and sort of relieve the pressure off the door, because it's pushed back, push it towards the front of the car, Joe,
Yeah.
and then you get inside and give it that big size 10. 11 then. You know what they say about big feet? We'll start with the bottom one here. I'm only going to do a few turns.
Just smack it on.
Oh, there. Look at that, look. As soon as I've done that, the doors started to drop.
Is it?
Yeah. We're about to see some size 11 bashment. Go for it. Oh, not the window. Lower, lower. Lower, because otherwise you'll smash the window and then that'll be funny. Again. One more. Okay, we're going to smash the glass. So what we're going to do now, guys, is that plan has failed, but before we resort to violence, we always try and go in gently. So although that was not gently with the size 11, we are going to get the grinder, we're going to mask up, we're going to cut it, we're going to get to the catch, we're going to pull the cable. Let's get this door off.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Now, what happens, a little bit of explanation here. The handle part, which is snapped off, comes around here. Usually you come to the car, you pull it. The other part of the cable is attached to that part of the catch, which pulls the catch and the door is released. Obviously that's not the case here because it's snapped. So. Please don't tell me it's deadlocked. It's deadlocked because the battery's gone flat and obviously it's locked shut. Gotta be careful, I don't. Think that's enough for revealment, Steve? Or not?
Only one way to find out. Get in there.
I'm in.
Get in there further.
What, like more damage?
More damage.
I don't think you can damage it.
The more you get off, the better. So we need to get to the whole mechanism.
You just want me to cause damage, don't you, Steve?
Yep. Now I want to see you put it back.
Yes!
Now I want to see you put
Yes!
it back.
We have the door open! There's people behind that screen who are like, this is a crazy Asian with a hammer, but the end result is the opening of the door.
Yes!
And that's how you break in to a 240i.
Finally, with the latches open, we can actually take this door off and start to strip the door. There's a lot of parts in this door that we're going to need once the new door's arrived. things like the door card, the speakers, and these foam inserts if we can get them off the door properly, because they are surprisingly expensive from BMW. The main thing we are going to need now is to get things like this door done. We're going to need to sort out the hinges, the wings, but at least now we can start to see what we need to repair, and we're well on our way to starting to repair this 240i.
So that's the offside stripped. We are going to move to the front of the vehicle now, and we're going to strip the front, but that's for next time. See you again.